Good morning and good luck. And welcome back to Good Luck with Gino. I'm your host, Gino the Ghost, and you're watching episode 104 of the fastest growing podcast in the world. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you hit that like button, smash the fuck out of that subscribe button, send it to a loved one and or an arch nemesis, save it to your device, etc., etc. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, isn't that right, Gengar? And Gengar's back with us today. Make sure you hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, grease up that algorithm by leaving a comment. Because, well, naturally, you're an oil man. And I appreciate everybody letting their oil status known in the comment section every week. Today, we got quite the setup today. Let's take a quick gander at what we got going on. We got the Dark Blastoise with us today, a Tag 10 Dark Blastoise. What a gem, huh? Get a look at that. It's got a swirl here on the bottom, one of my favorites from the old Team Rocket set in 2000. We got Pikachu with us today. He's rocking the America Pitties, and I'm rocking the Pradas today. We wanted to mix it up. You guys know I'm Mr. Cartier, but now and then we got to let everybody know that I am versatile. And on the jacket, we got this super rare, brand new Doodles jacket. Shout out to my friends and family over at Doodles. They had their token drop this week, and they've always got some fire gear that they sent me. I own a couple of Doodles. This is Web3 talk. If you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, feel free to just ignore this part. Let's see. Let's just get into my week, shall we? No, I didn't start my fast yet. I know. I'll get to it. If you're noticing that I look a little red today, you might be looking at this. In fact, you probably won't notice it because I'm going to fix it in post. But I'm sunburnt as fuck right now. I'm a little red. I was at Wango Tango yesterday. Yep, that's the name of a music festival. Wango Tango, Kiss FM's big Wango Tango festival. And it was on the beach this year in Huntington Beach, which means I emerged from my vampire cave studio and was in the fucking sun from about, what time was it? Maybe 11 a.m. until the wee hours of the night. Just baking. I went to go see my girlfriend, Ria Raj, and her sister, Laura, who's also she's in a big K-pop group called Cat's Eye. They both performed at Wango Tango, which was a very fun, serendipitous family affair. And I was there just baking. Just sizzling, just cooking out there. The makeup artist, my friend Amelia, was like, "Hey," at about noon, "Hey, do you want some sunscreen?" And I looked at the sunscreen, and it was called like Goop. It's like some fancy fucking makeup artist sunscreen. And I'm like, "Oh, what is this fucking Goop?" It's called like Goop cream. Like, I'm not putting this shit on my face. And tossed it. And man, do I wish I put some Goop cream on my face. I am ripe as a tomato. So anyway, that's super cool. The only thing worse than getting fucking cooked to a crisp is my biggest pet peeve. And who can relate in my Logic voice? I hate wearing shoes on the beach. I hate nothing more than when I got shoes, and inside those shoes, I have socks. And inside those socks, I have my bare feet. And I'm walking on the fucking sand, and I'm somehow getting sand not only in my shoes, but in my socks and between my toes. And now I'm walking on the beach with just fucking sandbags on my feet. All day. No matter what I do, I take my shoes off, I take my socks off, I fucking do that. I'm in between my toes like an OnlyFans model trying to get it out, and it's just still there. I still feel it now, 2 showers later. If I was back in biblical times and I was instructed by the Lord to cross the desert 40 days and 40 nights, but I had to wear shoes with socks, Man, the Bible would have been a really short book. Wouldn't have made it. Would not have made it. I would have said, Lord, can I take my shoes off? And he would have said, no, I mean, in the book, and I'd be like, well, sorry. Anyway, what else happened? A lot of music stuff this week. Nothing I can talk about publicly yet. I'm under NDA. But some big things coming out. Some big things coming out. It's real exciting for me. And inherently real exciting for you, because when I win, you win. Let's get into the bad stuff of the week, because I'm morally obligated to cover it on this show. Okay, so you remember last week when I talked about that abhorrent white woman, Shiloh Davis, who called a 5-year-old black kid the N-word? Remember that? And then she raised $750,000. So remember when that happened and I said, just watch the worst people on the internet turn this into a rallying cry. Just watch. I said they're gonna bring up Carmelo Anthony, not the basketball player. Remember I said all these things? And I even made a Matt Walsh joke. I made a Matt Walsh joke about him being able to say the N-word and like wearing blackface. I don't remember the exact bit, but it was naturally funny, and naturally I was right. So after Shiloh Davis, the white woman who called a 5-year-old black kid the hard R at the park, went viral and raised $750,000, pseudo-intelligent white nationalist alt-right pundit Matt Walsh took the opportunity to die on the stupidest hill imaginable. He put out a video podcast and said, I'm glad she raised $500,000. I hope she raises $500,000 more. People are sick of the racial double standards. They're fed up. It's just that simple. Oh, it's that simple, huh? Thanks for clarifying, Matt. Is it really that simple? Let's roll the clip and we can decide as a class if it's just that simple.
The mob that tried unsuccessfully to cancel Shiloh Hendricks was far, far more outraged over Shiloh saying the N-word than they were over Carmelo Anthony stabbing somebody to death. Indeed,
of course. 11 seconds into the video, and we're already painting that false equivalency. They were more outraged that she called a 5-year-old kid the N-word than they were at the kid for stabbing another kid. Let's continue the clip. We're setting the table here. We're just setting the table for this. Hold on. In fact, let me take a sip of some liberal tears just before we get into this clip. Sweet and salty. My favorite. Okay, Matt, let's get into it.
The mob that tried unsuccessfully to cancel Shiloh Hendricks was far, far more outraged over Shiloh saying the N-word than they were over Carmelo Anthony stabbing somebody to death. Indeed, many of them actively supported Carmelo Anthony murdering Austin Metcalf. They rewarded him financially for it. And this is all part of the preposterous racial double standard that has defined American culture for generations now. It is a double standard that declares it a greater crime for a white person to say a word than for a black person to kill a white person. In fact, killing a white person could even be a just punishment for saying that word, according...
I'm sorry. Did you say that it's considered a greater crime? Because last time I checked, the black kid that stabbed the white kid is on trial for murder. He's on trial for murder, and I'm not going to make any predictions, but he's probably going to get convicted and go to jail. What crime did Shiloh Davis correct? Is her name Shiloh Davis or Shiloh Hendricks? Am I saying her last name wrong? I don't owe her, calling her by her actual name. Maybe it's Shiloh Hendricks? Yeah, it's Shiloh Hendricks. Okay, sorry. Shiloh Hendricks. Is Shiloh Hendricks, is she getting arrested for a crime? Because according to Matt here, society has deemed it a greater crime to call a child the N-word than to kill. No, they're not. She's not convicted of a crime. She raised $750,000. She's being paraded around like a fucking hero, Matt. So, what are you talking about? There's no attack on freedom of speech here. She can say that word and not go to jail for it. That's freedom of speech. However, freedom of speech is not freedom of social consequence for saying things that are morally abhorrent. This is obvious to anybody capable of nuanced thought or critical thinking skills, and or is not a racist. Anyway, let's continue on with this clip here.
The rules surrounding this word, the moral weight granted to it, the arbitrary guidelines drawn around it, it's all nonsense. It's all indefensible on both moral and intellectual grounds. People are fed up with it. That's what you're seeing in this story. People are just fed up with it. Now, that child, if he's like the average black child in this country, did not hear the N-word for the first time from a white woman at the park last week.
Great point, Matt.
Okay? He's no doubt heard it thousands of times. He likely hears it every day. He probably hears it in his own home. Are we supposed to believe that he's heard the word 1,000 times, but it's time 1,001 that really traumatized him?
Dude.
I mean, the idea that the word is a common greeting for one race, but unspeakably evil if uttered by a different race, is laughably ridiculous.
I just want to be clear here. Matt Walsh is at this very moment in this clip trying to say that it's totally fine for a grown-ass adult woman to scream racial epithets at a child. That's what he's trying to paint a picture for you, that because this black kid hears the N-word in rap music or at his home or in a movie, it's totally fine for this woman at the playground to verbally berate him with racial slurs. Anyway, continue on, Matt. You're making such a good point. I hate to cut you off.
The idea that one race can say the word 10,000 times a day and the other race cannot speak the syllables under any circumstance, even if they're just repeating what someone else said or singing along to a rap song, that idea, again, is totally indefensible.
Then say it. Say the word.
Which is why no one has ever tried to defend it. Instead, it's just yet another, racial rule of the road that we're supposed to follow without ever asking any questions about it or expecting anyone to explain it or justify it.
It's been explained. It's been explained so many goddamn times you're just not listening. You don't want to listen. It's so simple, okay? The word is a horrible racial slur that's been used dating back to the times of slavery. Remember when we enslaved this race of people, okay? And it was a bad derogatory word. Well, then that group of people in their culture adopted it, and they use it in the way that they want to use it. We can't use it because it's a horrible, offensive word. Because of the weight given to what that word meant when it came from white people. And you know what? It is really that simple, Matt. It's that simple. It's not that complicated. And you understand, you've heard that before. You've heard it from that community, but you hate hearing you can't do something. Do you know why? Because you're entitled. And this isn't me being a white bashing white man. This is just a sense of entitlement that not just white men have, but some people have. But white men who have been able to historically get away with everything forever, with the exception of breaking the law, even though they can still do that sometimes, they fucking hate hearing that they can't say something.
People are sick of that. It's just that simple. They are sick of it. Now, It is simple. If it's wrong to say the word,
Yeah.
then it's wrong for anyone to say it. If black people want white people to not say the word, then they need to not say it. If you say it,
Just like,
everyone else can say it. Point blank, it's that simple.
then say it. Say the word, Matt. Say the fucking word. It's just that simple. Just say it, dude. What, are you afraid to say it? Let's keep going. I mean, he's on a roll right now.
That's how life works.
That's how life works.
Deal with it.
Deal with it.
No, you can't do that. You can't say, well, no, we can do this thing, but you can't. Doesn't work that way.
Oh, got
It does not work that way. Well, it did work that way for a long time. It was indefensible, and it's just not going to work that way anymore. Sorry.
Okay.
And no matter who is saying it, it's not any worse than any other slur or vulgarity. It's not special. The word is not magical. It's not some kind of mystical curse. It's not some kind of dark incantation that conjures evil spirits from the netherworld. It's just a word.
Yeah.
It's a vulgar word. It's a rude word. It's a word that I believe polite people shouldn't say for the same reason they shouldn't use any other vulgarity. I'm using N-word right now instead of saying the actual word for the same reason that I would say F-word or...
No, you're saying N-word right now because you won't say it. Because you know it's a bad word. You know what Matt Walsh is doing here? Matt Walsh is pulling the pin from the grenade and handing it to his dumbass audience and saying, go ahead, fall on it. Be brave. Say the word for me. You can say it now. I said so. Do it for the cause. Matt won't say it because he knows he shouldn't say it. He can't say it. Black people can say it. Why can't I? I should be able to call children racial slurs without consequence. And now he's up here on his fucking dumbass show declaring that now you can say it, but I won't say it. He's acting like it's the fucking... This guy thinks he's the Rosa Parks of white people saying the N-word. But he gets up from his seat. Matt Walsh, the fearless civil rights leader of white people being able to say a naughty word they aren't supposed to say, but he won't actually say it himself. White guilt MLK. I have a dream that one day grown white adults can call little black boys and little black girls the hard R at the park. I have a dream. What the fuck is wrong with these people, dude? Are you so obsessed with this mythological war on wokeness that you've forgotten human decency and morals, that you are going to literally climb up on the hill of you should be able to throw racial slurs at children in the name of killing cancel culture? This is the hill you want to curl up on and die on. The guy that made the documentary, Am I Racist? Yes, Matt, you are racist. And not only are you racist, you're a fucking midwit, dude. You're not even a clever racist. You're not even like dangerous. You're just fucking stupid, dude. The only people who can contort their body in the mental gymnasium to justify screaming racial epithets at children are racists. And it's really just that simple. Okay? So to answer your question, Matt, am I racist? Yeah, dude. Yeah. Here, do you want some liberal tears? Fucking dickhead. And the worst part is he thinks he's funny. That's the worst part. All right. We're just getting started in the fucking racist, the racism chamber. Let me take my fucking Pradas off. Pikachu, I'm going to have to borrow those because, well, it's time for a Pit Viper Mega Rant. You might have thought that was the Pit Viper Mega Rant, but god damn it, we're just getting started, and I'm not giving you a break. Maybe if you want to hit pause real quick and grab some water, or maybe you want to grab some coffee so you can really lock into this segment. Kanye West. Now, I said we were done with Kanye West. I think I said something to the effect of like, we can't give this motherfucker attention anymore, right? Well, you got it, Kanye. You got our attention again. Congrats, bro. Kanye West, who, you know, you thought it couldn't get any crazier. You know, he's throwing up the fucking swastika. He gets the swastika the bust down swastika chain. He's like gonna call his album fucking Nazi or whatever the fuck. You know, he's dropping Nazi merch. He's dropped a song where he said he sucked his cousin's dick. I mean, he's running out of things to do, right? Kanye dropped a song called Hail Hitler with a video. And I'm not going to play it on this show because A, I don't want to actually spread the song and make him any money. B, I don't want to get the video taken down. I don't want to get demonetized. And I just don't want to dignify it. What's worse, I don't want to say what's worse than the song, because to be clear, I'm like watching it. I'm watching the video on Twitter, and I kind of had this like weird moment where I'm realizing this is probably the craziest thing that's ever happened in like American, maybe like pop culture. The most jarring, insane thing. I mean, you got one of the biggest, most influential people in the history of music, undeniably. The biggest artist of my generation, who changed rap music forever, who honestly is probably one of the main 3 reasons that I got into music. And he is dropping the most abhorrent, terrible, evil, insane thing ever. And I'm trying to think, like, how did this guy go from this to this? Like, how did we get here? I remember when I was younger, and he was doing that live TV charity thing with Mike Myers, and it was during Hurricane Katrina, and he was like, George Bush doesn't care about black people. And that was so, like, to me, I'm like, man, that's so refreshing and hilarious that he just fucking did that. Like, that was so defiant and crazy. But it was like in the name of good, right? And I think as he saw the reaction that got, and I'm wondering if he just kept, like, he thought it was from, like, how do I word this? It wasn't the subject matter of what he said. It was that he did that. And he kind of just took that, and then like the Taylor Swift thing and all these things that are getting him so much attention. And as he's getting into like the wean years of his career, as he's getting older, I'm wondering if as the limelight begins to kind of, what was happening was it was drifting, right? Is this him trying to regain the spotlight and getting so lost in the sauce of thinking that, like, I need to just get attention in any way? Or did nitrous just melt his brain? And he's just so and like mentally, even before the nitrous, he was like, I don't know. But what's astonishing beyond the song and the fall from grace that this man has had. What's more astonishing than that are the think pieces about how this is based and the end of cancel culture, and anything other than this is just fucking insane. I'm mainly seeing this on Twitter, which is just like, I love Twitter. Let me be clear. It's a Nazi platform. I love Twitter. And I spend so much of my time on Twitter. However, it is also a Nazi platform. It's where they gather. And what's really fun about the Twitter algorithm is, you'll watch the video and then you'll click on a reply from a neo-Nazi that's trying to justify it. And you click on that reply to be like, who the fuck is this person and why would they say this? And then the Twitter algorithm goes, oh, you're a Nazi? You want more Nazi content? Cool. Here's a timeline filled with white supremacists. Just gonna kick you as much neo-Nazi propaganda as we've got on the platform. Because you like that, clearly. Because you clicked on one tweet. So now I've found myself in Nazi Twitter. I'm in this little fun pocket of right-wing, alt-right, Christian nationalist, the Jews are responsible for everything in the world Twitter. And I have never it is actually terrifying. It's kind of terrifying. I'll elaborate on that. But it's terrifying seeing these motherfuckers rally around this song. Congrats, Kanye. You've created a rallying cry for the absolute worst people on the planet. A theme song for Nazi incels and alt-right extremists on the internet to combine their two favorite forms of hate speech. This fucking Looney Tune created the 4chan anthem. The 4chan anthem. The 4chan anthem. The 4chan anthem. That's good wordplay right there. And he's created this song, and these guys are empowered now. They're like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. I can say the N-word and I can see Gil at the same time? And all the think pieces are, because, okay, you've got the obvious Nazis, right, who are just Nazis, and they're just wearing it on their chest, right? They might as well get the fucking swastika tatted on their face. Some of them have. You've got those people. But then you've got the closeted Nazis. They're still in the closet. And they say this. Interesting. So you can make songs about murder and drugs and Satan, but you make a song about the Jews and it gets taken down? Looks like they're proving Kanye's point. This probably goes so hard if you're a fucking moron. You probably see a tweet like that and you're like, fuck yeah, dude. Because you're dumb. Because you can't think three-dimensionally. That's why you think that. Because, and say it with me, you're a Nazi. You might not realize it yet. It's like a boy who's maybe 14 and he's in the locker room and his friend gets naked and he's having weird thoughts. He's like, oh, what is that? You don't realize it yet, but you're gay. That's you, but with anti-Semitic verbiage and anti-Semitic propaganda. You might not realize it yet, but you've been indoctrinated by the alt-right on these algorithms. And that's what's dangerous. Is that some people they've just watched one too many of these podcasts or heard the Matt Walshes or these incredibly dangerous midwits who are just anti-Semitic. And you see a tweet like that and you go, wow, they really are conspiring. No, dude. You realize that Hitler is responsible for the death of upwards of 10 million Jewish people, 6 million in concentration camps, And oh yeah, also World War II. Oh yeah, he's the greatest enemy that this country has ever seen. How are you patriotic and you worship Hitler? Not only is it fucking insane and terrible that you would look up to a fucking loser like Hitler, but you also consider yourself an American. No, again, you're a traitor. You're a deeply hateful, horrible human being, but also you're a traitor. And now, my former idol, whose brain is deep fried in nitrous, has kinged himself in his egomaniacal mind palace and surrounded himself with diligent yes-men court jesters, a council full of rage-bait morons like Sneeko and Nazis like Milo Yiannopoulos. And he's putting out a fucking Nazi EP. The whole EP is like, Jesus, yay, and Hitler. Hail Hitler. Not like this garbage-ass attempt at performance art. This fake, least interesting thing you could ever... Like, this is a product of Kanye excommunicating himself from anybody that actually cares about him. Anybody that'll tell him no. And surrounding himself with opportunistic parasites that are fucking idiots. And I know this because I know the people that used to be there. And I've heard all the stories, and out of respect for them, I will not share them on this show. But like, if you see this and it doesn't fucking enrage you, my brother in Christ, you've got some work to do. If you hear this and you go, damn, this shit's low-key kind of catchy, you got some work to do. And if you see this and you say, wow, well, I guess you can make songs about murder. I guess Lil Nas X can twerk on the devil in his music video. But you can't make a song called Hail Hitler. Yeah, no shit. No shit, you can't do that. I guess freedom of speech is... No, you stupid fuck. Like, I mean, really fucking take a step back, would you? And like the guys in the video, again, find the video if you want to see it. He's got like 30 black dudes just chanting and screaming the words N-word, Hail Hitler. And I'm just trying to figure out, how much did those guys get paid? $500? What's the day rate for destroying your digital footprint? I'm just curious. What's the day rate to Sieg Heil on camera forever? You need how bad do you need money? How bad do you need the clout? I'm telling you, man. Like, I'm on Twitter and like these guys, dude. Neo-Nazis are the biggest losers in the world. And we need to go back to reminding them of that at every turn. Wah, the Jews are in control of everything. Wah, you're actually such a pussy. You delusional midwit fucking loser. Nazis are the most petrified, tiny little dorks in the world. Scared of the boogeyman. Got to close the fucking closet and check under the bed before they go to sleep. You want to blame a small group of people statistically because your life panned out to suck ass. Are there wealthy people? Are there wealthy Jewish people in places of power? Yeah. Are there also Catholics and Christians and Muslims and all the other groups of people that have money and control things? Yeah. Yeah. Is it any of their fault that you look like that? Is it any of their fault that you don't know the touch of a woman? Go see a fucking therapist and then go play in traffic. I like made a tweet where I'm like talking about how fucking horrible this song is and how everyone's a loser. And they're like, oh, found the Jew. Found the Jew. Hey, I'm a Christian. Hey, good one. I'm just not a fucking Nazi. So I don't know. I feel like I'm going crazy. But is this country where are we going? Where are we going? Fucking losers. Let's go back to punching Nazis. And that concludes this week's Pit Viper Mega Rant. Pit Viper Mega Rant! Pit Viper Mega Rant! Let me take a sip of some liberal tears. Some unbranded liberal tears. I made that liberal tears video, and I don't know if you saw the comments, but the Liberal Tears brand left like 9 comments. They were like, thanks for the shout out. Go check out our website. New flavor soon. Like, hey guys, you realize I'm making fun of you, right? Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like, man, we got a lot of other shit to cover, don't we? It's going to be a fucking jam-packed episode. I guess we'll make it quick, but we got to cover politics this week, and I'm not going to do that. We're going to hand it over to head correspondent of the most trusted source of news, lead anchor Gino Borri on GNN. Welcome to GNN, your leading source of news, politics, and this week, politics. And now, here's your host. Good afternoon. I'm your host, Gino Borri, and this is the news. Well, guys, the market's pumping. You feel that? You feel that tingle in your balls? Those are green candles. We're so fucking back, baby. Thank you, Joe Biden. Joe Biden's economy. Thank you, Joe Biden. And that's obviously a joke because Trump said that this was Joe Biden's economy. Why is the market recovering today? Well, or this week, I should say. U.S. and China trade talks are moving along. And they've been meeting in Switzerland, I believe. Scott Bessent and company and people in China. And apparently they're getting close. Talks have been very friendly. And once this is formally announced, we'll probably pump back closer towards where we were when Trump took office. And then they'll try to convince you that tariffs work. Just as I predicted many, many months ago. And that's fine. You know, here's the way I look at it, man. I don't care. I've told you this, right? I don't care how it happens. I want this country to win. I hate Donald Trump. I think he's a fucking idiot. But I don't want him to fail because then that means the economy's failing. And then that means my bags are affected. And my people are suffering. And I don't want that. Okay? So I want him, basically what he's doing is rolling back the tariffs that he put in place. And the economy is recovering from that. Now, what did I do? I bought the dip. I've been buying the dip. I continue to buy the dip. I'm not saying that, you know, anything could happen with this guy. The market, you used to trade on the fundamentals, but now you literally just trade on Bloomberg Terminal and Trump's Twitter account because that's how the market moves now. But I will say the reason I'm in such a jolly mood is that altcoin season is here. And I have a good amount of Bitcoin, but most of my portfolio is in altcoins. It's in ETH, it's in Solana, it's in other coins. And it's here, finally, hopefully. ETH is up big after the Pectra upgrade, which we're not going to get into this week, but good news. And hopefully the market continues to recover. Now I'm going to do a quick summary of the fall of democracy this week. We're not going to really get into it because there's other people that I don't have time this week. Trump was gifted a $400 million private jet by Qatar. $2 billion investment in World Liberty Financial by the Emirates this week. World Liberty Financial is the Trump brothers' crypto company fund, and the UAE made a $2 billion investment. Certainly nothing to see there. A $1.4 billion real estate deal in Vietnam amidst crippling tariff threats to Vietnam for the Trump family. So, what else? I think I saw something Scott Galloway was talking about this, but apparently the Trump family is up $3 billion in the 3 months that Trump took office, or $4 billion in the 4 months that Trump's been in office. So that's just $1 billion a month. Just pure bribes. Just bribes and vibes, baby. We're just bribing and vibing. And you know what? Hey, this is America now. And that's fine. Crime's legal. Everything's cool. You can just do whatever you want, except, well, actually, you can apparently also throw racial slurs at children on the playground to get money. So you can just really do anything now. So that's super cool. But, what is that? Is that white smoke coming out of the Vatican? No, that's red, white, and blue smoke, baby. We got a fucking American Pope. Chicago's very own Robert Prevost, elected Pope Leo the 14th. So that's the most fucking awesome American thing ever, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. First American Pope ever. A Bears fan chose Leo as his name. Lions living rent-free. Detroit Lions living rent-free in the NFC North's head, baby. Who's the new pope? Well, Laura Loomer called him a woke Marxist pope, which tells me he's probably a pretty good guy. The new pope hates J.D. Vance, has been critical of Trump. So naturally, everybody who thought it was funny that Trump posted an AI-generated version of himself as the pope no longer cares about the papacy. That's all we're going to say about that. Again, we got a lot to cover here. And we're going to do that in everyone's favorite segment. We've got a fun, action-packed, jam-hitting segment of the FOH HOF this week. The Fuck Outta Here Hall of Fame. And this first clip here, it's a fun one. It's from the podcast that features many of the most ridiculous things you've ever seen. That would be Sean's podcast, The Digital Hour. You know, we love Sean because Sean gives us the most insane batshit people in the podcasting world. This one, let's just say it's up there. Here we go.
There's actually 3 Elons. The first Elon comes from a Nazi family. He's part human, part cyborg. This was an Elon that was developed by the Dark Fleet. Remember the first secret space program that was established by the Nazis and the evil aliens known as the Draconians? Yeah. The second Elon is a clone of that. And due to this war between the Y Hats and the Cabal, there has been a third Elon that was actually biogenetically engineered in a petri dish to do good. That's the one that's free speech, working with Donald Trump through Doge to unravel all this federal spending, to reveal the truth about the corruption. And so that's known as the third Elon. We have had cloning technology for a long time. We have had advanced alien technology for a long time. Everything that we see in sci-fi is happening in our world, but from behind the scenes. They just don't tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, look, now that the cat's out of the bag, it's probably a good time to tell you that there's actually 3 clones of me as well. The first Gino, part human, part cyborg, developed by the Illuminati in a petri dish, using liberal tears and the draconian, the first alien draconian race in that. The second Gino is a clone of that Gino. He's an award-winning songwriter and producer. He has a podcast, incredibly handsome, Super stylish. This is the Gino you see before you. The third Gino is actually a clone of the third Elon using a strain of hair from the second Gino. This Gino, the third Gino, is actively working to sending Katy Perry and the first Elon to Mars so that together they can populate the planet for humanity. Is the fourth Elon the Elon that plays Diablo in Path of Exile for the first Elon or the second Elon? The third Elon. I mean, it sounds like a movie title. The third Elon. You know? The third Elon. Coming to theaters this fall. The third Elon. A man that was cloned 3 times. Fox presents The Third Elon. So, okay. The first Elon hit the seg heel because he's a Nazi Elon. So, which Elon wants to legalize comedy? Would actually make sense that there's multiple Elons because one Elon wants to legalize comedy and the other ones are extremely unfunny. We just haven't met the funny one yet. How many Elons are there, dude? No wonder he has so many kids. Because the Elon clones are just out fucking. They're out recruiting and fucking, dude. They're out recruiting and fucking and dropping off that clone semen. Three Elons. There's probably 10 Elons. If you can have 10 Elons, right? If you can get 10 Elon clones before 30, you can have generational Elons, because then what happens is your Elons start having Elons. You're cloning Elons, and now you've got your Elons are making money for you, and that's how you accumulate wealth. Why do you think Elon got so much money? Because he was having Elon clones. Next video. It's another Luke Belmar video. I mean, I can never pass up on an opportunity to make fun of Luke Belmar. And he just presents so many opportunities. Here's another one. Let's just get into it.
A conspiracy theory you 100% know is true.
Root canals. There's this YouTube video, which before was a documentary on Netflix before it got pulled after 2 weeks, known as The Root Cause. The Root Cause discusses the big psyop by dental industry and by big pharma to f people's health up through root canals. You can't even watch it in the United States. You have to turn on a VPN because it's banned by the American Dental Association, which is in bed with big pharma. I had a root canal recently removed, and once they did the DNA biopsy on the tooth, they found 20 different types of parasites growing and living inside of my jaw. Stay away from fluoride, stay away from root canals.
You had a root canal removed? Luke, do you know what a root canal is? You don't get a root canal removed. A root canal is a procedure. A root canal is the removal of an infected pulp in a tooth. I know this because my family's in dentistry. Not my immediate family, but my first cousins. Many of them are in dentistry. Luke, hey man, do you know what you're talking about here? No, you don't, do you? They did a DNA biopsy on the tooth. They removed the tooth, and then what? They sent it to a lab like in Law and Order SVU. Wait, doc, don't throw that tooth away. Can we run a DNA biopsy on it? $20 parasites. Ew, dude. Ew.
A conspiracy theory you 100% know is true.
Root canals. There's this YouTube video, which before was a documentary on Netflix before it got pulled after 2 weeks.
Oh, it was a YouTube video. Oh, but it was a documentary before it got pulled. Do you know why it got pulled? Because everybody in the documentary had their license revoked.
root cause. The root cause discusses
Great.
the big psyop by
Great
dental
wordplay.
industry and by big
By dental. The big psyop by dental.
pharma to people's health up through root canals. You can't even watch it in the United States. You have to turn on a VPN because it's banned by the American Dental Association, which is in bed with Big Pharma. I had a root canal recently removed, and once they did the DNA biopsy on the tooth, they found 20 different types of parasites.
Ew! Dude! 20 parasites? Ew. Have you tried brushing your fucking teeth? Of course not. Bro for sure thinks that toothpaste is a psyop too. It's true though. He does have parasites in his mouth. He's got a very rare parasite called yapper toxoplasmosis. The only cure to wire his fucking jaw shut. It's too bad he's so against dental because we need someone to wire his mouth shut. What's something you know to be 100% true? Root canals are a scam. I saw it on a YouTube video. Yeah, again, the documentary was banned because everybody in that documentary is somebody who had their fucking license removed and they're just spewing misinformation. Or at least that's what Big Dental wants you to think. Root canals are a scam. You should instead let your infected tooth rot in your mouth until it spreads through the rest of your mouth through the roots of your other teeth, like the zombie virus in Last of Us. Oral hygiene is for NPCs. Brushing your teeth, psyop. Fluoride, turning the frogs gay, and turning the enamel on your teeth into beta enamel. Escape the matrix, throw out that Colgate. Another thing you don't know, that Big Dental doesn't want you to know, cavities are actually an MLM scam by the American Dental Association. Why do you think they're called fillings? Because they're filling their pockets. Floss picks, scam. Let that plaque cook. Also, I have to address this. The interviewer in this clip, this guy like has a this guy this guy fucking cracks me up every time I see him.
A conspiracy theory you 100% know is true.
The way he talks. What's a conspiracy theory you 100% know is true? He's always asking the hard-hitting questions to today's brightest minds. He doesn't ask questions, he inquires. If you asked him a verb to describe himself, one word, it would be inquisitive. That's how he talks. Look how he inquires.
A conspiracy theory you 100% know is true.
This is journalism. Getting to the bottom of it. Unmasking the true villains of society by asking the most impactful voices of our generation the toughest questions. Okay, last video. Now, this video is actually the first FOH HOF inverted. It's the first anti-FOH HOF because it's a video that when you first watch it, you're like, oh, well, this guy's for sure in the FOH HOF. But then when you really watch it and you marinate on it and you hear my commentary, then you get it. Here it is.
It was a regular school function for my daughters, cafeteria lights, juice boxes, folding chairs. I walked in and I realized that I might have overdressed by about $3,000. I clapped, I smiled, I supported, and I also made every dad in cargo shorts rethink his life choices.
Dude, you know what? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, Dad. You first start watching that video and you're like, oh, what a fucking dude. But then you start to think about it and you're like, so what? Once you're a dad, you're supposed to forfeit the drip? You have to pull up dressed like a humble servant to your child's events? You should put that shit on until the day you are put in the dirt, dude. That man put that shit on and never took it off. What, he's supposed to have a child and then forget how to dress? No, dude. I vehemently support stunning on other parents. Make these children embarrassed of their parents' lack of style. Because that lack of style passes down like a genetic disorder. When you have parents that aren't saucy, it's like a predisposition to dressing like a lame. You're born with that gene in your gene. You don't know how to put on the right jeans because of your genes. Does that make sense? And you got to motivate the parents of the rest of the friend circle to dress better because you don't want your child hanging out with bad influences in fashion. One day, if I'm a father, I too plan on pulling up to PTA meetings dressed like a Blade villain. Rocking the Rick Owen boots to stomp on the faded dreams of the other fathers at soccer practice. Make the moms crank the AC in their minivans when you pull up. It's getting hot in that Ford Windstar. The swaggiest dad in the world just walked up. Did this guy just come off a Chrome Hearts runway? Straight to practice? What some would call a midlife crisis, this man calls a midlife fit check. And anybody in the comments that's got a problem with this guy, you got to come see me. I fucking love this guy, dude. This is awesome. There's no expiration date to being fly. Sorry. And, you know, you should always flex on people. That's what life's about, man. Make yourself happy. Flex on others, especially if it makes you happy. And I can tell that it warms this guy's heart to stunt on the other parents. And that's what's important, right? Because as we get older and you know, we start getting closer to the end, it's really just about making yourself happy. Yeah, so I don't know where I'm going with that. That's the end of the episode. I feel like I've been just fucking screaming for an hour because I'm fired up, dude. Sorry, I'm passionate about my country and humanity. So, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you, Beyonce. If you're watching or listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, save it to your device, send it to a loved one or an arch nemesis. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, right, Gengar? Tap that like button. Punch that subscribe button like you would punch a Nazi right in the fucking nose, right? And then you're going to go ahead and grease up that algorithm by leaving a comment. Because, well, you're in a womb, man. And this is my son, HW. And you would show up to HW's PTA meetings and soccer practices wearing the swaggiest fits imaginable. Because not only are you an oil man, but you're a fashionable man. And yeah, as the world continues to crumble and we continue to go from the Third Elon to the Third Reich in this nation, you can come here to regain some sensibility and rationale and be on the right side of history. That's what we do here on the Good Luck Show. So yeah, until next week, thank you, good night, and good luck.
Everybody listen close, there's a brand new show
Pikachu. What's the name of that show? Called what? Right with who? That's me.
It's gonna get you moving, get you in the zone. Good luck, good vibes, good times. With Gino by your side, you'll be feeling fine. Every week, he's gonna bring the hype. So come on, let's go tune in on the Good luck, good vibes, good times. With Gino, it's gonna be a real delight. So get ready to laugh, learn and grow. Good luck, let's go.
Bitch.